tired of feeling that you are not good enough? Discover the 5 essential keys to boost your confidence, to set powerful boundaries, and step into your greatness in life and business. Welcome to the Accelerate Ascension Summit, where we elevate your awareness, magnify your message, and monetize your mission. I'm Dr. Katja Rusanen, your host, and committed to helping spiritual teachers, coaches, and healers succeed on purpose. Joining us today is J Holbrook, founder of Profits Playground and known as the Visibility Wiz. She helps coaches, speakers, and authors become trusted, in-demand experts with her empowering strategies that boost confidence and create personalized visibility plans for building a fun, profitable business. She's also been featured on Fox, Huffington Post Live, and more. So welcome, Cindy. I'm super excited to have you join us today.
Oh, thank you, Katja. I'm thrilled to be here.
And before we dive into your presentation, I'd be curious to know what kind of role of spirituality has played in your success as a visibility expert.
To me, I think spirituality is the key to everything, the key to life. Um, I I was raised in I was raised in a very abusive household. And it wasn't until I was 35 years old that anybody told me my life was my choice. I'll call her my first coach. She was actually a supervisor of mine. And she got me to really, she was the beginning of my self-development journey. And so I always say I would not be here without her. She bought me Tony Robbins tapes. She told me books to read. She got me to visualize whenever I didn't even realize I was visualizing. So this was my introduction to being free and to being able to live a life of my choosing versus a life that other people chose for me.
Beautiful and powerful. I love the life of your choosing. So
Mm-hmm.
that is so powerful message. And now let's dive into your presentation. That is 5 keys to feel worthy of success. Will you
Yes.
explore how to reclaim your confidence? And in addition, you also learn 5 power steps to play big in both life and business. And I'm sure our audience is eager to learn from your wisdom. So the stage is yours, Cindy.
Well, thank you. And thank you to everybody that's listening. I'm thrilled to be here. And I want to dig a little bit deeper to the story that I just shared about my supervisor, who I call my first mentor coach, telling me my life was my choice. Because sitting across from her desk, just sobbing, tears rolling down my face, I was like, Earl threatened to leave me again. I don't know what I'm going to do if he leaves me, because how can I raise 2 teenagers on my $10 an hour when whenever they're used to Earl 70,000 a year? And I was just so just so upset about life in general. So when she looks at me, she goes, Cindy, you know your life is your choice. That lady, you are crazy. You have done taken a rocket to the moon. There's no way I am living a life of my choosing. I'm not choosing this life. At that time, I was still grieving the death of 8 immediate family members that had died within the previous 3 years. My teenage daughter was involved in gangs. My husband of 15 years who told me he didn't love me anymore, but was going to stay with me because of the kids. And yeah, there was another woman involved as well. Um, and so to me, I had nothing to live for. I was depressed. I was suicidal. And for her to tell me that my life was my choice, I thought, lady, you are nuts. There's no way in hell anybody would choose this life, right? And so as she started introducing me to all of these Tony Robbins and these books and stuff, and I really started to see that I could not change the past. I could not change what happened to me, but I could rewrite it. I could see it from a different light. And I didn't have to be a victim to everything that was happening around me because I had the power to change my thoughts about what was happening around me. And it was not an overnight thing. I am still self-improving. My best friend, after a couple years, she was cute. She goes, Cindy, aren't you self-improved yet? I said, girl, I'm never going to be self-improved. Never. Because there's always room for self-improvement. And I think once you start digging into the spiritual world, the more you grow spiritually, the more you want to self-improve, the more you want to be a beacon of light to the world, the more you want to help people. So we're sitting there and we're struggling with our past that has really kept us down. And so, the first thing is you have to, the first key to feeling worthy of success is knowing your life is your choice. You have the choice. You can't choose what happens because none of us can. But we can choose our thoughts and we can choose our reactions to what's happening. We can choose our words. And by choosing all this, then we are choosing our life, right? So key number 2, and I'm going to be going into some more things, but key number 2 is to identify your best self. So that goes back into I was raised in a sexually, physically, mentally abusive home. And some people, they like to rate my trauma way up here. But something that you might logically think is a 1 in trauma is going to create the same problems in your life as what happened to me. So our minds want to rank trauma, but there is no ranking to trauma because whatever happened to you as a child, things happen to you. You hear things and you make a decision about what that means to you. And then you make a belief. Well, that means that I'm not worthy. That means I'm not a good girl. That means that you have to be perfect in order to succeed. This was one of mine where I really thought that I had to be perfect. Also, that I was stupid, that everybody knew better than I did. So we learn these things. And we learn them as children. And our subconscious, whenever we have a belief, our subconscious wants to prove that true to us. So we do things, we self-sabotage ourselves, and we constantly do things or make choices that make what we fear come true and make these limiting beliefs, and it reinforces them. Well, see, I'm not good enough. See, I'm too stupid. See this, whatever. I'm not worthy, right? And so we have to break these patterns. And one of the ways to break that pattern, the key to feel worthy of success, is to identify your best self. Some of the ways that I like to identify my best self is number 1, to ask at least 5 of your friends and family to name 3 things that they love about you and 3 things that you could improve on. When you do this, it's going to be much easier for you to accept the things that you can improve on because we self-sabotage ourselves, we self-blame, we self-criticize so much. But I want you to concentrate on what they love about you, what the qualities they see in you. For instance, people always seen me as a leader. I thought a leader was a big bad thing. I didn't want to be a leader. I was like, no, 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 don't tell me I'm a leader. But whenever other people see that quality in you, that means you own it. And that's something they love about you. So whenever you start embracing these qualities and you own these qualities that your friends and family see in you that love you, and you start bringing these qualities into your business, you're going to see a change because people want to know the real you. They want to know you and they don't want you hiding or trying to pretend to be somebody you're not. Key number 3 is generate or create your own Bill of Rights. I had to do this with my past, and I was like, I have the right to my voice. I have the right to be treated nicely. I have the right to to write. I have the right to do what I find fun. I have the right to watch what I want to watch. You see, my father told me I should never let anybody read anything that I wrote because I would be a laughing stock. So when I left my first husband after 20 years of marriage, I threw away 5 novels that I had written because I did not want to be a laughing stock. So who knows what might have happened with those novels, but I was too afraid. I didn't feel worthy of the success at that time. So whenever you start saying things like this can really, whenever I was saying you can't rate trauma, that one statement my father told me made me not share my writing for 20 some odd years. So um, so whenever you're creating your, also my ex-husband used to tell me that I was stupid because I liked shows about the paranormal, about ghosts and UFOs and things like that. And again, that's why I said I have the right to what I like. So regardless what, we all have these things, and start, create your own Bill of Rights and print them out and read them and own them, embrace them. The fourth key to feel worthy of success is to set boundaries. One of my boundaries that I like to use is a boundary. All you need to do to set a boundary, you have somebody acts as a way you don't want, you need to have a statement that you say, and don't let them push your buttons. One of my things is I have a right to my feelings. Uh, and and so I will, all right, so therefore, that's one of my Bill of Rights. I have a right to my feelings. So I will tell people, hey, don't try to fix my feelings. I have a right to my feelings. And I will tell people that are trying to get me to believe or feel a different, I have a right to my beliefs, right? We all do. And these are basic things that happen to us as children. We get these limiting beliefs that are holding us, but let's get the beliefs that are making us powerful, that are making us strong, that help us to shine our lights. And key number 5 is to make peace with your past. Now, whenever you're making peace with your past, that's really one of the hardest. It can be some of the hardest things depending upon what's happened. We tend to want to blame ourselves for our past. Now, and so talking about the past, I'm going to go a little bit more to it in just a few minutes. But the two things that wreak havoc with your confidence and your self-worth are the naysayers. These are your family and friends that literally tell you, who do you think you are to be a coach? Who do you think you are to write a book? Who do you think you are to be a speaker? Who do you think you are? You don't know enough. You need to know more. You can never make, you can't make good money being self-employed. These are the naysayers in your life that are trying to hold you down. And they mean well, and they're speaking from their own hurts, from their own pains, from their own life experiences, from their own fears. And so you don't need to make their truth your truth. You don't need to take them. The inner gremlins are a little bit harder. The second thing that wreaks havoc with your confidence and self-worth is your inner gremlins. These inner gremlins are the voices in your head, but most of them are from the past. And so these are come from the limiting beliefs that we picked up as children, that this meant that we were bad. If Mary doesn't call us, it means Mary's not our friend no more. Or, I was the youngest of 5 children. So one of my thing was nobody's going to listen to me. I always had to raise my voice to be heard at the dinner table. So, and then who are you to teach somebody this? We learn and we learn and we learn and we learn, and we never feel like we know enough to teach. But know that you are a 5th grader to some 3rd grader. People really, you think you have to be way up here, like let's say Tony Robbins level. Some people don't, they're here at this level and they think Tony Robbins is just so far out of my reach. They want somebody that's just above them. So, if they're in 3rd grade in their growth level of whatever you're coaching and teaching, and you're in 5th grade, you can teach them. So you always know enough. And you wouldn't have this drive in your heart to share your message if you weren't able to do it. And a lot of things that hold us back typically is our own feeling worthy of it. It's our own gremlins and the naysayers. So the gremlins are going to say, it's going to take forever. You're too young. You're too old. You need to know more. You need to portray a picture perfect life. When I was younger, a teenager, I was dating this guy who wanted to be a preacher. I was very religious at the time. And my mother told me I was not good enough to be a preacher's wife. So I see that so much in the coaching industry, where so many people feel like they're not good enough to coach somebody else. They're not good enough for whatever. Well, none of us are good enough. We are all have our struggles. Nobody has arrived at this picture perfect life that we think we're supposed to have. And so therefore, when you are moving forward and you think of your confidence and your worth, it's it's based on everything else. Think about this. When you were a baby, you are 100% worthy. Would you ever look at a baby, a newborn baby, and say, you're not worthy of love? You're not worthy of crying. You're not worthy of milk. You're not worthy of learning to crawl. You're not worthy of walking. Would you ever tell a baby that? No, you wouldn't. And I sure you wouldn't. But we tell ourselves these things all the time because we don't feel worthy. Somewhere in our life, we lost our sense of worth. But think you are that baby. You was born worthy. And babies, up till I don't know how old, but they're not afraid to cry. They're not afraid to voice their opinion. They're not afraid to, cry whenever they want changing or whenever they want love, whenever they want help, whenever they're hungry. And we need to learn to use our voice that way to let people know what we want. I'm not saying to sit there and cry, but the other day I was feeling down. So I told my husband, I go, will you hug me? Right? That's asking for what you want. And you need to show your vulnerabilities with people because then they connect to you. If people always think that people hire you because of your knowledge, and that's not why they hire you. If you're a coach, the number one reason why people hire you is your personality. Your personality. So therefore, um, if you're not being you, if you're trying to be somebody else, if you're trying to be perfect, you're trying to be like your mentor, or you're doing things exactly like your mentor is telling you to do, and it's not working for you, it's because you're not being you. You need to follow your own heart. You need to have a coach that can enable you to help you make peace with your past and see and let go of these limiting beliefs so you can truly listen to your heart and your intuition and be the light that you're meant to be. So our inner gremlins, they tell us again, we have nothing to say, we have to be perfect and all this stuff. So we need to let go of our inner gremlins. So the 5 power steps to play big in business and life. Okay, so you have the 5 keys to feel worthy of success, and you'll see that both of these, the 5 power steps to play big in life, are very similar to the 5 keys to feel worthy in life. And as a gift, I'm going to be giving you some little guides on both the 5 power steps and the 5 keys to be worthy. Each of them has some exercises that you can do in there that's going to help you grow and expand. So the 5 power steps to play big in business and life is to choose. You have to choose to play big, period. And whenever you choose, it's a commitment that you're going to play full out. It's a commitment that you're going to look at the hard parts of yourself, that you're going to look at your limiting beliefs. You're going to look at what and become a better person and grow spiritually and mentally and physically. It's that you are going to choose to learn whatever you need to learn to get wherever you want to go. So the first one's choose. The second one's, again, make peace with your past, present, and future. If you're sitting there blaming all of your problems on your past, you're living in the past. If you're sitting there worrying about all this stuff that can happen in the future, you're creating a nightmare in your mind. And it's just as easy to create a nice dream in your mind as it is a nightmare. And it's just as easy to say, well, this was my past. I don't want my past to, why am I letting my past affect my now? Whenever you're sitting there and you're thinking of all these things that happened in the past, or how you said something wrong, or how somebody wronged you, or any of those things. And we'll even use my father. He was not a nice person. I have made peace with my father. I have forgiven him. I love him as a human being. I don't love him per se as a father, because he was not a good father to me, but I love him as a human being. I've made peace with the past. I realized something happened to him to make him do the things that he did. Okay, so this is me making peace with my past, because if I did not make peace with my father, I never could have grown spiritually. I never could be who I am today. I never could help other people find, heal from their past and be successful entrepreneurs. My book, I wrote a memoir about my life, um, Overcome Dark Family Secrets, Overcoming Dark Family Secrets. And in that, I tell you everything that I went through, but I also tell you how I healed. Because so many books and so many people, they want to tell you about all the crap of the past, but they don't tell you how they healed. And the healing is what we all need to do. And regardless if it's that your third grade teacher told you, this really happened to one of my clients. Her third grade teacher told her she wasn't smart enough to spell. She couldn't be in the spelling bee. I had another client who had her fourth grade teacher tell her that she did not write this poem she wrote because it was too good and the fourth grader couldn't write that good. Things like this can really hold you back in your business because you made this belief and you've been playing it over and over and over again in your head. So you have to make peace with it. So you have to find the root cause, you have to release it and let it be in the past. So now you can live in the present moment. When you're in the present moment, now you have the power of choice. That's what we all want, choice. You have the power of choice in the present moment. And whenever you choose now, you're going to have a better future. And so you're not worrying about the future because you're doing all that you can do in the present. So make peace with your past, present, and future. Step number 3 is acknowledge. Acknowledge and accept the reality of where you are today. Don't lie to yourself. We all lie to ourselves every day about all kinds of stuff, but know exactly where you are. Embrace your strengths. Earlier, I had said, ask your loved ones to name some of your strengths and qualities they love about you. Embrace them and accept your weaknesses and admit your fears. You don't have to do this publicly, but you need to do it within yourself or with a good coach that's going to be able to help you discover these things. It can be really, really, really hard to look at yourself. You've one of the things with us too is we're wondering if one way that you can know some of your beliefs is if you say, I feel like, that's a belief. I feel like Mary doesn't like me. That's a belief. I feel like I feel like I have to use more soap on the dishes. That's a belief. I feel like um, if I don't keep a clean house, I'm a bad person, right? All of these are beliefs. A feeling is I feel angry, I feel sad, I feel happy, I feel joyous, right? So you can't do that with it. You can't say I feel, so whenever you say I feel, ask yourself, what are you saying on the end of that? And that's going to help you to discover some of the things, your beliefs that are holding you back. And it's going to help you, again, acknowledge where you are right now. Number 4 is courage. Have the courage to take those actions that scare you. You want to take the actions that scare you. You want to take risks, share your truth. And as Mark Twain said, courage is not the absence of fear, it's acting in spite of it. We're all going to have those fears. And it's because of these limiting beliefs that have kept us stuck. And these are the gremlins talking to us. If you do this, you're going to be a laughing stock. If you don't do it right, people are going to put you down. Oh my God, what about the haters? What am I going to do if I'm on video and somebody calls me out? Oh, somebody's going to tell me I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, right? All these fears are things. With visibility, people have like, oh, I don't want to waste time on the wrong strategy. I'm afraid of being rejected. I don't know enough to teach, and I don't want to make a fatal mistake. You have all these fears, and you have to just act in spite of them. Know that the only fatal mistake you can make is one that is giving up, is you just decided you're not going to go for it anymore. And the 5th one is trust. You need to trust the process. You need to trust the journey that you're on. Trust that everything's going to work out. You really don't have to be in a hurry to arrive, because whenever you're in a hurry, you're not paying attention to what's around you and you're not enjoying the process. I love the term things happen for me, not against me. When we learn to embrace this and we learn to be a little bit vulnerable and share our journey with other people, we find that we're not alone. We're all the same. All of us. We've all had fears. We've all had bad stuff happen to us. We all have the same feelings, just at different times for different reasons. So trust your journey. Trust that every decision is, whatever decision you make, you made the best decision you could make at that point in time based on your experiences up to that point in time. So trust your journey and know that even though you might go off the journey, the more you learn to trust your heart, the more you learn to embrace your strengths, the more you feel worthy of success, the straighter path to success you're going to have. But you will get to be where you want to be. So along your journey, remember to say thank you a lot, live in the present moment, accept compliments graciously, compliment others often, listen and understand, be responsible for yourself, and believe in your dreams. And I do have the free gifts for you. So Katja is going to be sharing the link with you. So you want to be sure to download your guides, 5 keys to feel worthy of success, and the 5 power steps to play big in business and in life. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Cindy. You shared so much wisdom, and I loved how you also gave those personal examples because they touch my heart, and I'm sure many others feel like, okay, we are not alone on this path because many of us have gone through trauma, and there is a way forward. There is a way to claim that confidence again and be able to shine our light and share our gifts. So just thank you for having the courage to share with us.
Thank you.
And I am super excited also that for every person here who can get that gift from you, because that is a really amazing way for you to continue and take it deeper from here. So I just encourage everyone to go and get that gift, because that way you can have that reminder for yourself to start implementing that new mindset, new way of being into your everyday life. And as we start concluding here, is there a final message about feeling worthy of success that you'd like to share with our audience?
Yeah, the big thing is we know our deepest, darkest secrets. And that's why we don't feel worthy. It's because we know every ugly thought we've had. And know that you are not your thoughts and you're not your feelings. You are that perfect baby that was born, that was worthy of everything. And your life experiences is what's created where you are now. So, if anything, just ask yourself, the exercise I love is ask yourself, how much have you grown in the last 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or a year? Whenever you realize you're confident today on something you weren't 3 months ago or a year ago, it helps you to see your growth because we tend to want to look at the past and see everything we've done wrong and not our growth.
Yeah, that is super important point. So focus on the growth and seek that growth. Ask yourself those
Mhm,
questions because sometimes our mind, at least mine was like so used to finding that what's wrong, what doesn't work. So it really needed that intention and like reminders to focus on seeking the good and seeing the good and seeing that growth. So thank
mhm.
you so much, Cindy, for your time
Oh,
and the valuable insight you shared with us today.
well, thank you for having me. It's definitely been my pleasure.
And thank you for joining this Accelerator Ascension Summit session. It's time to share, sign, and succeed. And if you enjoyed this session, please give it thumbs up. Bye for now.